Oh.
Anyway, that's the only reason
I could start calling you.
well, I've been talking.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm.
Commission a couple
They're gonna fire
I'm like, well, you should probably watch the YouTube channel.
you. Be running?
Six.
That's what I
Eight.
said, 8 months of, does he want to?
We'll call this meeting to order, it's now 7 o'clock. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. This is the Sparta Township Planning Commission meeting, August 11th, 2026. And, I don't have the copies, the agenda is over there if anybody needs one. Do I have any additions or corrections to the agenda? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion for its approval.
I'll make that motion that we approve the minutes.
I'll support it.
We have a motion, properly supported. Any other discussion? Hearing none, call for the motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Nope. Okay, motion carried. Next order of business, we have the minutes of our last meeting, June 9th, 2026.
Oh, I did say minutes on the last motion.
Oh,
It's supposed to be on the agenda.
okay. So now we're at the minutes. Again, everybody, I assume, has received a copy of those.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from May 9th? June 9th, sorry, June 9th.
I'll support.
We have a motion, properly supported. Any other discussion? Hearing none, call for the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Motion carried. Now, public comment. This is for items on the agenda. I would like to make an opening statement first. Apparently, there's been some misconception about some of their misinterpretation of the agenda regarding the data center regulations for review. Again, this is just a review. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to our planner, Kevin, to kind of bring everybody up to speed as to where we're at with that.
So as the Planning Commission is aware, Sparta Township currently has a moratorium on data centers. That was done to give the Planning Commission time to develop data center regulations. One of the reasons we're creating this is to be proactive. There are currently no pending applications or inquiries in the township for a data center. But the state law does require townships to allow for all legal uses. So over the last 6-8 months, we've had a lot of different conversations with the Planning Commission on where data centers may be appropriate, and also doing various amounts of research to try to make sure that the regulations that do go into your zoning ordinance are there in place on the chance that if any time in the future a data center would come to Sparta, there's regulations in place that would allow the Planning Commission to carefully consider all elements of and potential impact from a data center. So that's where we are still at. We are still working with the Sparta Township and some of our other communities to create zoning regulations that will be specific for many different aspects of potential negative consequences of a data center. But again, there's no pending applications, there's no inquiries. This is just being done proactively to protect Sparta Township in the future.
Okay, and I might add that not only is the state, but the federal government, they're looking at regulations and some of the issues that have been brought up to us as far as water usage, noise, those things, types of things, are constantly being looked at, and we get all kinds of information on it. I've got a stack of papers. So, but again, we are not here tonight to do anything other than just review where we're at with it. So with that, I would entertain anybody else that had any item or any public comment on the items in the agenda. At the close of the meeting, you will be able to ask questions again. So with that, we'll just start over here. Dale, do you have anything?
Sorry,
Oh, go ahead. Oh, yeah.
Brookburg, 10780 Phelps Street, Sparta. I've said this before, I'll say it again. I just hope you guys, as you look at regulations, you don't just look at places that have data centers, but you look at the regulations of places that don't have data centers. Like I said, I say it almost every month, I'll just say it again.
Thank you. Anybody else on this side? Back row there? Okay, good. Now we'll get to the business at hand. First business item is a public hearing on the home-based business regulations and review. Kevin, again, could you kind of bring us up to speed on that? Again, there was a red line copy where you had consulted with our attorney and he made a couple changes, suggested changes to the language, and then we have a clean copy with those incorporated, so.
So for an overall summary, currently Sparta Township does allow for home occupations. Those would be smaller home occupations that only occur within the single family dwelling. With the development of the home-based business regulations, it would allow for some additional, still home occupational types of uses to occur in accessory buildings on the property, whether that's a building contractor, an excavator, a home-based automobile repair. Those would be allowed as special land uses with very specific requirements. That has been previously reviewed by Planning Commission and it was sent to legal counsel for review. There were no major proposed changes, really just some administrative things to clean some of those items up. But there has been no major changes to what the Planning Commission has previously seen.
The regulation doesn't address, lot sizes, placement, noise. I mean, our regulations do cover all of those items. I just wanted to let people know, so. Okay. Let's see here. At this point, I guess I'd ask if there were any comments relative to this discussion. Again, if you would like to register a comment, please step to the podium and state your name and address for our record, so. Okay. Anything on this side of it? Okay. All right. I'll close the public hearing portion. Anybody have any comments? I know we worked on this for a while, and again, the comments from our attorney were relatively small, minor little changes just to clean it up a little bit, so. Tim, you had a chance to review it?
Yeah, I don't have any issues with the changes the attorney made.
Okay.
Looks good.
Fine. John?
I'm good.
I'm good.
Mine too.
Okay. And, I've looked at it and I don't see any problems with it. So I guess our next step then would be to adopt it.
It would be to make a recommendation to the township.
Recommendation, yes. So.
I'll make a motion to recommend adoption of the home-based business ordinance as presented.
Okay,
A second.
and then it will, yeah, thank you. That will then go to the township at their next meeting, I would assume.
I think it'd be under September 10th meeting.
September 10th, okay. Which time they can look at it, they can accept our recommendation, they can reject our recommendation, or they can send it back with some questions and comments, and we'll be back here looking at it, so.
We have to vote.
Yes, so we do have a motion to recommend approval and send it on to the township board. Any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the motion, all in favor? Oh, should we probably do a roll call vote on
We're
this?
not changing, we're recommending, so
Recommend.
you don't need a roll call. You aren't changing anything, you're recommending to the
Okay.
township board.
So all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carried. All right, then the data center regulations review, did you have anything more to add, Kevin?
For the data centers,
Great.
the planning commission was provided with some, various articles, from your last meeting. Was directed to continue to do some more research, so that's what we've done. Additionally, we've also been working with Jamestown Charter Township, so in addition to the draft that we've already been working with you on, we've also provided a copy of the current draft with Jamestown, so that's, Jamestown is a very exhaustive ordinance. Again, it's a draft, it hasn't been reviewed by legal counsel, and it's not finalized by that community, but I also wanted to present that to you for your review and consideration.
Anybody have any questions, comments regarding it?
Seems to be very comprehensive.
Yeah.
Very detailed.
Very detailed.
Which is good.
Yes,
I think we can certainly,
I'd like to see what happens once their legal counsel reviews it,
yeah.
see what they say after that.
Have you gotten any feedback from them at all?
No, so Jamestown is, let's say, earlier in the process, they haven't been reviewing it quite as long. So it's been, we were able to use some of the things we learned from you to be able to help provide for them, but this is still in review by their planning commission, so I'm not sure if this will, go to their legal counsel within the next months, or it'll be 3 months before it goes to their legal counsel. So yeah, it has been preliminary reviewed by them, but it's still very early in the process for Jamestown.
Now, are they kind of under the gun, so as to say, do they have a proposal over there? Do you know?
Nothing, I don't work directly for Jamestown, there's nothing that I'm aware of. Obviously, it's similar and different than Sparta, they do have some more developed areas. But there's nothing I'm aware of in Jamestown that has any pending applications. I just think again, I don't work directly for them, so I don't know all the workings, but I think it's just they're a little more reticent just because they do have access to some of the utilities and other infrastructure that Sparta doesn't have, so they're trying to be proactive.
Anything new on the state level, have you heard? I know that publication that we get, there's some pending legislation talking about data centers, but nothing, I didn't see anything real concrete.
Nothing from the state level that I'm really aware of, still trying to monitor the Michigan Townships Association and some of those other professional organizations. Right now, a lot of communities are in a similar place, it's concern for a lot of communities in Michigan, but there's no well-developed, well-tested ordinance that's really out there as a template. So we're just trying to continue monitoring what's happening in other communities, whether that's that either have pending data centers or have had data centers and what those issues have been, and really working to address all of those concerns.
Haven't there been a couple workshops at the MTA? Have they come up with anything that you know of, or?
The MTA did have a webinar earlier this summer, late spring. at that time, they had developed a template moratorium ordinance, but they haven't developed a template data center ordinance yet. Yeah, I think some of the major concerns that came out of there, not major concerns, but the things that I carried from that webinar were, water usage, electricity. The township does have the ability to require studies, and a lot of different examples there. But the MTA hasn't put out any specific template.
But I assume they're still working on it. I mean, or it's kind of an ongoing project, is it?
I'm not sure where the MTA is. I'm not sure if they mentioned in the webinar that they were working to develop one, but I haven't seen any major updates on when it is or where it's at in the pipeline.
Any questions of Kevin?
Mr. Chairman, can you remind us when the moratorium expires?
That is, do you have the date on that, or?
I believe it would be March of next year. I believe, but yeah, it was put in place for 1 year earlier this year, so we still have quite a few months.
And is that subject to renewal? Can we renew that moratorium?
That would be a conversation I would advise the board to have with legal counsel.
Are you aware of any lawsuits that have been filed against communities for too restrictive ordinances?
The only lawsuit that I'm aware of off the top of my head would have been, there's a lot of different info in there. I believe it was Sparta Township where there was a court case, they were accused of exclusionary zoning and then were required to settle. When we talk about exclusionary zoning, so state law says you have to allow for all legal uses. We do have to be careful. You can't say, oh, we're gonna allow for, a data center, but only on this square foot of ground. That can be an issue if the zoning ordinance is too over cumbersome, that it essentially acts as exclusionary zoning, then there could be issues. We can't just outright put, whatever regulations we want in place, but we can develop, as you see in Jamestown, very detailed, to be able to require a data center to prove that there will be, no negative impacts to the health, public, and safety. I shouldn't say no, but significant or adverse consequences, that whether it's municipal water or groundwater that they propose, that you're not gonna create other people's wells to run dry. You can require studies that require them to prove that they're not gonna negatively impact electricity rates. You can require no noise studies, and then as a special land use, annual reports. You can require that the fire department or other emergency services are able to respond and have the equipment to do so. You'll see, I think that's where a lot of communities are starting to go, especially with improvements, is requiring host community benefit agreements. It's like, all right, if you do build here, we're gonna need this $1 million improvement to our water. We're gonna need, our fire department's gonna need all the specialized equipment, and you are gonna be responsible for covering the cost today and for as long as this data center exists. So there are a lot of protections that can be put in place.
Yeah, question back here, sir?
Yeah, we had those helicopters fly. Oh,
please.
sorry.
State your name.
Ricky Johnson, 29 Centennial, I'm in the village. But we had those helicopters flying around that identified all the aquifers on the west side of Michigan. Do we know where the aquifers are in our township to identify where even a zone where data center would want to go, where it could sustain a data center and zone for those areas? It seemed like we would narrow it down and then you can zone for those areas to protect them.
Yeah. I'm not familiar with any of that. I have not heard anything.
I mean, do we know where our aquifers are in the township, regardless of
I'm sure we
those?
know where our aquifers are, for the most part, where they are.
I do not have those details on where the aquifers are. I know there were some flyovers in Allegan and Ottawa County earlier this year. I'm not aware of any that have happened in Kent County recently. Right now, the current draft for Sparta identifies data centers as a special land use and industrial only. So
Right.
those are some very specific areas, one area along 10 Mile. And then there is one small area just north of the village on Sparta Avenue, but it would be required, data centers could only go, if this is adopted, data centers could only go into those industrial areas, and they would have to meet all of the requirements. They'd have to prove that, you know, they're able to access water, not through an aquifer, they'd have to provide municipal water. We don't have to identify those beforehand, we can require the developer to prove that the resources they need are available in the industrial district.
We will certainly be looking for that type of information either from the applicant or through other sources.
Yeah, I was just saying we probably wanna get that zoning and planning before an applicant's there.
Yeah,
So then now you're not actually excluding someone, if you already have the zoning and planning before someone comes to you. I don't know, that's just my idea.
okay, thank you. Anything else?
Wouldn't the well drillers have all that information?
They would probably have some of that information, I don't
No,
know.
like-
I don't know how extensive this study was. It was the state that did that?
I don't know, it could even be a third party, but I'm just saying,
Yeah,
you'd think our local governments, some government would know where our aquifers are.
okay. All right, next item on the agenda, mixed-use residential commercial on Sparta Avenue.
Already have data centers, I had something to say on that. Do we have a copy of how far you are on the data center regulation to review?
One of our drafts.
It's in the package, isn't it? The package is on the website.
So we gotta print it out.
Yeah, a draft of the current draft for Sparta is definitely available, whether it's not online. I mean, somebody can email me or the township, and we would be happy to provide a copy of the current draft.
So I mean, should we all have a copy of it? Somewhere?
We don't have copies of it available.
Okay.
Kevin has offered, to send it to anybody that would email it.
I wrote to everybody an email asking for.
You need to come up to the podium and state your name and address.
My name is Joan Knoschmidt. I live at 1055 Indian Lakes Road, and I wrote to everybody regarding the need for an ordinance for a non-disclosure agreement, which Big Rapids and many other places have done to give us peace of mind that billionaires aren't going to come in here and buy off, and to help make sure that the existing laws on open meetings acts are followed. And I only got a response from one person who said they'd be okay with it. I think it was and I think it was Tim who said you've signed many.
No, I never got an email.
I never got anything.
Did you
So-
know the board or the planning?
The board, and I only got.
Oh, this is the planning commission,
Okay.
I mean.
Well, I think that's something that we need so that none of you or nobody within Sparta Township can have meetings, including Zoom meetings, behind our back without, us being.
Well, all our meetings are properly posted, and we have a representative of the township board right here. And
They're all on YouTube. We don't have any Zoom meetings. Zoom meetings were only allowed during COVID. They're not allowed at all now. You can't have Zoom
Well,
meetings.
the man who I talked to said he talked to the data center, one of the board members that was planning to go in with the village, and he was in a Zoom meeting.
Okay,
So-
that's the village.
Wasn't during,
But
no, it
we're the-
wasn't the village, it was a
Okay.
board member from here. And he said he was okay, I believe it was the head of the board, he was fine with an NDA ordinance to prevent non-disclosure agreements from.
I never heard of anything from this lady.
Okay,
The-
Dale is the supervisor of the township
No, it
board.
wasn't you.
Okay,
I mean,
So-
the only proposal that is in this area was to the village.
to the village. We have never had a proposal for any kind of data center presented to the township. There is nothing on the books. We have not been presented with any kind of plan whatsoever. We are just being proactive. We are doing our due diligence now to set in place so that we are properly prepared if we are ever presented with a plan. There is no plan presented to us at this time, but we have to be ready in case one is. And that is Kevin's job, to keep us prepared and looking at what we need to do legally to make sure we abide by all the laws and rules and regulations. So there is nothing prepared now.
I understand that, but an NDA prevents someone tomorrow or next week or the week after that from getting a hold of someone within the township and lo and behold, these are billionaires offering money, promises of future employment, anything else. These things happen, corruption is real, everybody has a price apparently. And so it's just something that would be helpful. And Big Rapids, Tyrone, Michigan townships have passed them and it just gives a little bit more peace of mind.
Well, nothing gets passed without the full board's approval, so.
Right, but I mean, it gives the people more trust in you when this is passed to help ensure that no one violates the Open Meetings Act, because if they did, there'd be no way for us to know.
I can assure you that we take this job very seriously, and we're not in a position to do any, we have no proposal right now, nothing at all. Nobody has talked to us about it.
Right.
So, and as was stated earlier when the meeting started, you know, we are in the process of putting together an ordinance because we have to, by law, at least recognize that these are legitimate operations and we have to make provisions and rules and regulations that they would have to meet.
So you're making rules and regulations to punish them if they don't follow the rules and regulations?
Well, that would be part of the act, there would be some fine, you know.
So there's much more that's gonna
Right, oh yeah,
henceforth,
most definitely.
and that's, I can get that from, are you with Fresh Coast Planning or are you
Yes,
part of?
He works for the township and as a Fresh Coast Planning employee. We've hired them to go through all of the details to get it to us so we can make a decision. But there are no meetings that aren't held publicly.
I don't want a dish on Fresh Coast Planning, but when I moved to Sparta, like about 4 years ago now, it was during the bidding wars, and we were told by the Sparta Township and Fresh Coast Planning that the street we were on, that the land behind us was landlocked. And lo and behold, somebody came in, we weren't even in the house yet, and put down stakes, and I think a lady named Sarah from Fresh Coast Planning. Somehow the guy got around the landlocked and built a great big house. He's a flipper, it's lit up like a Christmas tree, and they flip it, they move out in 2 years. And now I have somebody who's got delivery trucks up and down the street. I had no neighbors. So that's my concern with the business use. I don't know what kind of business needs tons of delivery trucks day in and day out. I have no idea, but the other thing that happened was I called Fresh Coast Planning about whether or not I could have chickens.
Okay, we were getting off.
Yeah.
But the point is, they had me on the phone for half an hour and could not tell me if I could have chickens. Cedar Springs has hired an expert in data centers because this is a very complicated thing to plan. And anything that's not in there, they will exploit, the billionaires will exploit with their lawyers. So it would behoove you to hire an expert in data planning attorney for Sparta Township's ordinance.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
two things. Number one, there was never any formal request for a data center in the village that they
Correct.
received. Cause I think we said that was the village that, and number two, ma'am, I don't have a price. Cause my give a shit's been broke a long time ago and I got enough to survive.
what?
So my give a shit has been broke a long time ago, so I don't have a price. I have enough to bury me and I'm good.
So you can't be.
So I just don't like the accusation of
Oh, no,
everybody has
it's
a
not.
price.
It's
Okay,
not
so,
the
thank
accusation,
you.
there's a board then, and you're the planning commission, and we've seen what's happened in other communities. And other communities are passing this to protect themselves. Cause you can't speak for other people,
No, I was only speaking for myself.
that's right.
thank you. Okay, we're on the mixed use residential, commercial Sparta Avenue discussion. Is that something, Dale, that you kind of brought to our attention?
Well, actually, my neighbor was quite interested in that because, you know, we have this mixed use commercial district that we've got initiated through planning. And he was quite interested. He lives in that really nice house across the road from me.
Okay,
And he came in and talked to Kevin and I think it would be kind of nice for him. And you know, we've had this in the past quite often where people wanted to get loans and such for homes and then they couldn't do that because it was pre-existing non-conformity and then it did burn down to over 50% of damage. It couldn't just rebuild, so there's kind of some incentives here to make that, and we seem to have that kind of a mixture now, and the likelihood of water and sewer coming down there is not too great at the cost tag of $3.5 million for a lift station, so I don't see that happening too quickly. But it's up to you, any direction you wanna go is fine with me personally.
Kevin, have you had a chance to, I know you had your memo here on it. So, any thoughts on that? I mean, I think it'd be fine. I mean, I hate to put a burden on people as far as their mortgages and fire insurance and that type of thing, you know.
Yeah, so I think that was just, you know, trying to get some preliminary feedback from the planning commission is, one of the changes between the previous master plan and the new master plan is, so Sparta Avenue has been zoned commercial for 300 feet on both sides for a number of years. The previous, master plan identified that same area as commercial light industrial for the future, but with the new master plan, that's changed from commercial light industrial development to a mix of residential and commercial. So, with that current commercial zoning along Sparta Avenue, there are a number of legally non-conforming houses along Sparta Avenue, which day to day, no major issues, but if they are looking, if something happens and they need to rebuild, or if they wanna put an addition on it, and it does cause financing issues for some, having that commercial district does cause issues. So just trying to gauge what the planning commission's plan might be for the future is, in short, I have no concerns rezoning, essentially downzoning some of those properties to Ag 2. If I had the ability to go back 30 years and have that conversation with the things we've learned since that master plan was originally adopted, is I would have advised to keep it Ag 2, but allow for that to be, you know, rezoned commercial in the future. So to downzone now, I don't have a lot of any major concerns for it to be downzoned to Ag 2. I think that would still be consistent with the master plan, but potentially if it's R1 or R2, that could create issues against the master plan. So just trying to make the planning commission aware of that, but also seeking guidance from you is if you have any concerns about downzoning to Ag 2, the township could take a firmer stance to say, no, this stays commercial until we develop an actual mixed-use district, just to make sure that those future plans are fully carried out.
Now, that would be just the residential properties out there now, or the whole strip?
It wouldn't, I would not propose, or there's no proposal to essentially rezone the whole strip, but it's just, as those property owners approach me about potentially rezoning, hey, I've got, 5 acres and I've got a house, I'd like to make this conforming. I try to give people that guidance to say, hey, yes, this is something that I think the planning commission may be open to, or it's still your right to apply, but I don't think they will be. Or sometimes it's like, I don't know where the planning commission is, but I'm trying to give people, property owners, those pieces so they can make the best decision for themselves on how to proceed.
That wouldn't be considered spot zoning then?
That's what I want.
No, because we've already got Ag 2, the Ag 2 already abuts that commercial district along Sparta Avenue, so it would still be contiguous with the larger Ag 2 district if they were to downzone. And again, this is by no means a binding decision. Each rezoning would be reviewed individually for the surrounding properties. I just want to make sure that the planning commission would be comfortable with, I guess, if you're comfortable with downzoning, knowing that, hey, in the future that person would have the ability to potentially rezone a commercial district or to a mixed use district. Or if you want to stand more firm and say, hey, we're not gonna rezone these commercial properties until we have developed the mixed use district.
Do we have standards that then we would have to develop to be able to do this?
Developing the mixed use district is probably gonna be a process that would take quite a while, because we'd be creating a whole new zoning district.
I mean, just to quote you, to down zone them. I mean, what would we apply if somebody came in here and wanted to do that?
The planning commission would still apply the same standards as any other rezoning, so consistency with the master plan, compatibility with the surrounding land uses, and capability to support all the uses within that district.
What's everyone's thoughts, Tim?
Well, I'm kind of biased on handcuffing anybody on their property just because I had to have mine rezoned to Ag 2 to put an addition on because of the non-conforming house in Ag 1 because it sat too close to the road, and then we got assessed for all the drainage stuff, so that rezoning cost me about 25 grand, but so, no, I just don't think it is right, especially on the tax issues that you're talking about insuring a house, right, that you can't rebuild if it's a
That's even getting a mortgage,
Yeah, that's not right.
Yeah.
I agree.
So and I think it's an issue that we need to solve because a planning commission in Sparta Township created it,
Yeah,
right? So,
we need to fix it.
and I do understand that hardship was probably put on those properties prior to a lot of them owning them, but some of them owned them when those were put on them. So yeah, I'm not opposed to it at all.
I agree. I think we need to fix
I
it.
think it needs to be looked at, yeah.
We need to fix this.
On the side of the table.
I agree with that.
Everybody
I
agree
agree,
with it?
yes, yeah.
So how do we proceed with that? We just let people know that they can come in and?
No, it gives me the feedback and what I relate to a property owner, if they come and say, hey, I've got this property on Sparta Avenue, it's zoned commercial, I wanna rezone. That'd be the feedback that I'll give them and say, hey, the planning commission may be open to this. You'll have to apply for a rezoning, you'll have to meet all of these standards. But at least gives them that feedback where if I knew it was a hard no, I'd want people to know that before they spent their money on something that's likely to be denied. And then at least they still have the right to apply for a rezoning, but at least they go into it with the best information possible.
Okay, my concern is this board changes every so many years. And I don't want these people to be left in the lurch.
Right.
You know what I'm
If they
saying?
don't come in right away.
If they don't come in and ask for it to be changed, and then the board changes. And then they're
So what Bart was saying
They're
there,
hung out to dry.
But I think along with this, weren't we talking about developing a mixed-use zoning district?
That is one of the recommendations of the master plan, is to develop a mixed-use residential.
And that would solve the problem also, but it's gonna take time to develop that.
Yeah, so I mean, even today, somebody comes in tomorrow, there's no guarantee that they're rezoning approved.
Right.
Because when the planning commission's gonna look at each specific one, we're gonna look at, where is that on Sparta Avenue? Is it in the middle of two commercial properties? So there's no guarantee even today that it would be rezoned to Ag 2.
Okay.
Every rezoning would be specifically reviewed by the planning commission and its current structure at that time. It is possible to email those property owners and let them know. But again, it's that property owner's right to make that decision for themselves, whether they wanna keep it commercial. It gives them that ability.
Is that something that we can do though? At least give them the option to make
Right.
that decision?
Yeah, I can,
Shouldn't we?
if we are gonna do that, I guess, that's something I'd want possibly legal to look at, just to make sure, because I would definitely mention that what you just said, to protect from that, the current planning commission is open to reviewing those, because once again, we can't handcuff a planning commission that's here 4, 5, 7, 10 years from now.
Yeah.
and then
Also, 'cause
And then their
opinions may change.
opportunity is gone.
Right, that's why I would make it very clear, our current.
But by the same token, I don't wanna get their hopes up and then for some reason we find it's not, something we wanna do. And like you said, each one is gonna have to be an individual case and go through the process. And we would
They gotta
apply
pay.
our standards to it.
And they gotta pay to
They
have it
gotta pay,
done.
Right, so if,
how many properties?
Yeah, how many are you talking approximately? 20?
And you said, were there some recent inquiries? I guess I would go with the ones that have made these recent inquiries.
right,
no, I could definitely make contact with the person that was in most recently.
okay,
And that's really, when I say recently, there's only been one,
Okay.
but it was just with it being so recent, I think I even internally went back and forth, it's like, shouldn't this be?
Okay.
And it's just an item I wanna make sure the planning commission is aware of, getting your feedback so that. If I look at, quick overview of GIS, there's less than a dozen parcels along Sparta Avenue that are zoned commercial and contain single family homes.
Okay.
I think it'd be a good start to contact that individual that you've had discussions with and let them know that we would be, willing to review something as far as their application, so. Everybody in agreement on that? And then word of mouth spread as far as other things? Okay. We don't need a motion or anything to do that, I think we can just.
I would recommend against a motion, because it's just some
It's a general
preliminary feedback.
consensus.
And, the planning commission can't make a decision on any single
Okay.
rezoning before it's actually before you.
Alright. Well, you take care of that then, Kevin, or over that individual and. So. Alright. Well, now we come down to our last public comment. This is on items that were discussed or not on the agenda, if you've got something. So, again, we'll go around the room. Anybody have anything that they'd like to discuss?
I just wanna talk about two.
Okay, could you please Okay, and give us your name and address.
My name is Ben Brothers. I live at 9886 Kennewa Avenue in Sparta, Michigan. I just wanted to touch base on the data regulations review as far as just getting your guys' honesty as far as your transparency in the future with it. Just because I know there's a lot of like shady happenings behind this type of situation. And I just have a farm and a family, and I feel like those are some of our most important core values, especially here in Sparta. And just want to express my concerns in regards to that. Because I see other places don't have those same concerns. So I feel like if we all stick and stay united in regards to health and safety and family and farms, then we should be successful going on in the future.
All right.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Kevin. You know, we have always upheld, you know, we want to protect the farmland. It's been kind of our mission. So I think you got us on your side, but there are only so many things that we can do, and we are in the process of putting together regulations that someone would have to meet to proceed with the data center. But again, we do not have any proposals on the books.
That's why we're just trying to spearhead it as far as like
Right.
just letting you guys know a family that lives in Sparta what they're.
Oh, yeah.
We're there because.
Well, we all live in the Sparta area too, and we're.
Right. That's why I like about these small communities is that you can come and talk to people that have those same concerns. But it seems like it can get just blurred in the grand scheme of things as far as what can be most important.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Just so you're aware that the township does post not only the planning commission agenda, but the whole planning commission packet is posted on the board's website. As soon as it's available for the planning commission, the township staff put it on the website that's available for the public, so.
It's out there.
Draft ordinances, any memos, anything that's before the planning commission is available right on the township's website.
Thank you. Anything else anybody have to discuss? Okay. Would anybody have anything else that they would like to add?
No.
All right.
Sorry for cussing.
No, you're not.
Tell us how your boy's been emotional.
I make a motion
Somebody's gotta
to
go
adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn.
I second that.
Motion properly supported. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
No.